Total Preparation Jankipuram Lucknow welcomes you all to its online program.
Friends, in this video we will be discussing the weekly current affairs topics for 16th of May till 22nd of May. Let's quickly begin with the first question. Which famous temple in India has been planned to be solarized by the central government? The answer is Konark Sun Temple, Odisha. The central government has recently launched a plan for complete solarization of Konark Sun Temple located in Konark, Odisha. This plan will be implemented by Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency. The central government will provide Rs 25 crore for this project. According to the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, a 10 megawatt grid will be set up under this scheme, which will be connected with solar project and solar application. What is the name of the ongoing social security scheme for senior citizens, which has been extended for 3 more years? The name of the scheme is Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. The Union Cabinet has extended the Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana for a period of 3 years till March 31st, 2023. The scheme was launched in 2017 with the aim to provide monthly payout guarantee to senior citizens. The maximum investment limit in the scheme is Rs 15 lakhs and the policy term is 10 years. Though the scheme had previously assured 8% return, this year the rate would be 7.4% per annum. Interest rate will be revised every year as per the Senior Citizen Savings Scheme. Which sector is given credit by the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme that was in the headlines recently? The answer is micro, small and medium enterprises. The Union Cabinet has approved an additional funding of up to Rs 3 lakh crore through the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme for the MSME sector. Micro, small and medium enterprises suffering from coronavirus crisis will be given emergency loans at the rate of 9.25%. 100% guarantee coverage will be provided by the National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company for eligible MSMEs and Mudra borrowers as guaranteed emergency credit line facility. Which type of companies will be exempted from the mandatory criteria for accepting payment by electronic mode? The correct answer is business to business, that is B2B. The Ministry of Finance recently announced that it is mandatory to accept payments only by electronic mode like RuPay card, Bheem UPI or UPI. However, the companies with a business of more than 50 crores and those involved in B2B transactions have been exempted from this requirement. Section 269 SU was added to the Finance Act 2019 to encourage digital transactions in the country, under which the e-payments of companies with sales or turnover of more than Rs 50 crore were made mandatory. Which state has launched a startup fund to provide employment to migrant workers and has partnered with SIDBI for this? The answer is Uttar Pradesh. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, recently launched Uttar Pradesh Startup Fund by partnering with Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. The state had earlier signed an MOU with SIDBI to expedite the formation of startups in the state. He also handed over the first installment of Rs 15 crore to SIDBI. The migrant workers will be provided employment based on their skills and the youth of the states will be encouraged for startups. Let's move on to our next question. According to the notification of the Jammu and Kashmir administration, What is the minimum time period of residence in Jammu and Kashmir to be eligible for being its domicile? The correct answer is 15 years. The Jammu and Kashmir government recently released a notification about the Jammu and Kashmir Domicile Certificate Procedure Rules 2020. There will be a period of 15 days for issuing the certificate, after which the applicant can contact the appellate officer. All of those who have resided in Jammu and Kashmir for 15 years or who have studied for 7 years and have appeared in class 10th or 12th examination will be eligible. The children of government officials serving in Jammu and Kashmir for 10 years are also eligible. Also, the children of West Pakistan refugees, sanitation workers and married women outside Jammu and Kashmir will also be eligible for the domicile certificate. Which company has built the most powerful electric locomotive for the Indian Railways? The answer is Alstom. Indian Railways operated its first 12,000 horsepower electric locomotive. It is capable of lifting 6,000 tons at a maximum speed of 120 km per hour. This locomotive was built by a French company Alstom under the Make in India initiative. India's first 12,000 horsepower locomotive is manufactured by Madhepura Electric Loco Factory located in Bihar with WAG 12 number 60027. The locomotive has been built in a joint venture between Indian and French with a shareholding of 74% and 26% respectively. Who has been appointed as the President of Indian Steel Association? The answer is Dilip Oman. Dilip Oman, the CEO of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India, took over as a President of the Indian Steel Association. Earlier, T.V. Narendran, the Tata Steel Managing Director, resigned as the President of ISA. It was decided to appoint Dilip Oman as the chairman for the next 2 years in the recent board meeting of the group. Where is the headquarters of United Nations Relief and Construction Agency for Palestine refugees located? The answer is Amman, Jordan. On May 19, 2020, India provided $2 million relief assistance to the United Nations Relief and Construction Agency for the welfare of Palestinian refugees. This assistance amount will be used in the main programs including education and health for the refugees. India increased its annual contribution to UNRWA from $1.25 million in 2016 to $5 million in 2019. India contributed an additional $5 million in 2020. Which island experienced the landfall of the super cyclone Amphan, that is, the main center of the storm hit the ground? The answer is Sagar Island. According to the Regional Meteorological Center, Kolkata, this landfall occurred on 20th of May 2020 from 2:30 pm to 7 pm. Landfall was reported in Sagar Island, which is an island of Sundarbans in West Bengal. It is between Digha, East Midnapore in West Bengal and Hatia in Bangladesh. Its recorded speed was 150 to 160 kilometers at the time of landfall. This is the second super cyclone which has risen in the Bay of Bengal after 1999. Which Indian has been elected as the chairman of the executive board of WHO? The answer is Dr. Harshvardhan. Dr. Harshvardhan, the India's health minister, has been elected as the chairman of 34-member executive board of WHO. He took office on 22nd of May He replaced Dr. Hiroki Nakatani of Japan. On 19th of May, Harshvardhan was elected unopposed in the World Health Assembly comprising 194 countries. The Southeast Asian group of WHO had agreed to include India in the board of members for 3 years earlier. The post of the chairman of the board is given in different groups of many countries for 1 year each. It was decided last year that India would host this post for next 1 year. Dr. Harshvardhan will preside over the executive board meeting, which takes place twice a year in the month of January and May. This board works to implement the decisions and policies decided in the Health Assembly properly in all the countries. Who has been appointed as the new chief economist and vice president of the World Bank? The answer is Carmen Reinhardt. Carmen Reinhardt will resume office in the World Bank from 15th of June. She is a financial crisis expert and will replace Penelope Goldberg. She is a professor at Harvard University and has received the King Juan Carlos Award for Economics. Her popular book, This Time is Different at Centuries of Financial Folly, was published in 2009. She wrote this book along with Kenneth Rogoff. Who is the chairman of the committee of experts whose recommendations on defense reforms have recently been accepted and implemented? The answer is Lieutenant General D.B. Shekhatkar. The government recently accepted and implemented 3 important recommendations of the committee of experts headed by Lieutenant General D.B. Shekhatkar, retired. These 3 recommendations pertain to border infrastructure, which focuses on accelerating road construction. Another recommendation was to outsource road construction projects which are beyond the optimum capacity of BRO. Engineering procurement contract mode will be adopted for implementation of works costing more than Rs 100 crore. Which country announced a $2 billion fund to help developing countries to fight COVID-19 in the recently held World Health Assembly? The answer is China. The 73rd edition of the World Health Assembly was held in virtual form this year. It was held in Geneva and is attended by representatives from 194 member countries of the United Nations. India, along with 122 other countries, supported the flagship conference paper, which proposes the review of the world's response to COVID-19. China has committed to give $2 billion in 2 years to fight the coronavirus pandemic. What is the theme of World Hypertension Day 2020, celebrated on May 17 every year? The theme is Measure Your Blood Pressure, Control It, and Live Long. World Hypertension Day is observed on 17th of May every year. This year, the World Hypertension League has postponed the celebration of World Hypertension Day 2020 till 17th of October 2020 due to global COVID-19 pandemic. This year's theme for World High Blood Pressure Day is Measure Your Blood Pressure, Control It, Live Longer. High blood pressure is a serious health condition that increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, and blindness. When is the International Museum Day celebrated every year? The answer is 18th of May. The International Museum Day is celebrated on 18th of May to raise awareness on how important museums are in the development of society. The theme of International Museum Day 2020 is Museums for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. The International Museum Day was established in the year 1977 by the International Council of Museums. The purpose of this day is to increase cultural exchange, promotion of cultures, and mutual understanding, cooperation between people, and awareness as an important means of peace. Which Indian Nobel Prize winner is included in the group of laureates which has suggested all the governments to spend $1 trillion for children from disadvantaged groups? The answer is Kailash Satyarthi. Around 88 Nobel laureates around the world, along with Indian Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi, have wholly called upon the governments globally to spend $1 trillion for underprivileged children during the lockdown caused by COVID-19. Other notable personalities who have signed the deal are former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown, human rights activist Desmond Tutu, etc. What is the proposed limit of FDI in defense construction under automatic route, according to the economic stimulus package announced by the Prime Minister? The answer is 74%. As per the announcement made by the Ministry of Finance, the defense production will be promoted under the Make in India initiative. Now the FDI limit has been raised from 49% to 74% under the automatic route. The minister also announced that the government would notify a list of weapons and platforms that would not be imported and would only be purchased from domestic industries. This list will be expanded in consultation with armed forces every year. As per the economic stimulus package, it was announced that India would be made a global MRO hub. Which field is MRO associated with? It is associated with the aviation. In the recent economic stimulus package, the finance minister announced that the government is taking steps to make India a global maintenance, repair and overhaul MRO hub. The air repair and airframe maintenance industry is expected to grow from rupees 800 crores to rupees 2000 crore in 3 years. India can use this opportunity. The finance minister also announced the auction of 6 more airports on the basis of public-private partnership, that is PPP model. What is the tenure of Defence Testing Infrastructure Scheme recently approved by the Ministry of Defence? The tenure is 5 years. The Defence Minister approved the Defence Testing Infrastructure Scheme on 15th of May 2020. It will be implemented at an estimated cost of rupees 400 crore. The Defence Research and Development Organisation and 41 ordnance factories in the country have built test facilities for ammunition, firearms, radar and electronic weapons. It will help boost the country's indigenous defence capabilities, particularly among MSMEs and startups. Which institution published a series of corona study titled Psychosocial Impact of Pandemic and Lockdown and How to Cope with It? The answer is NBT, National Book Trust. The National Book Trust India has published the Corona Studies series titled Psychosocial Impact of Pandemic and Lockdown and How to Cope with It. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, the Union Minister of Human Resource Development, has recently released print and e-editions of 7 titles of this series. This series has been prepared by a study group which has also recommended strengthening the preventive mental health component of the National Mental Health Programme. Which state will use sensor-based service delivery monitoring system for rural drinking water under the Jal Jeevan Mission? The answer is Gujarat. Gujarat will use sensor-based service delivery monitoring system for rural drinking water under the State Jal Jeevan Mission or Water for Life mission. It has already implemented the pilot project in 2 districts of the state to monitor whether potable water with prescribed quantity and quality is regularly provided to each rural household. The state has planned to provide 11.15 lakh domestic tap connections in rural areas during 2020-21. The gharial which were recently released in the Ghagra river in Uttar Pradesh belongs to which family of species? The answer is crocodile. The Bahraich Forest Division of Uttar Pradesh recently released about 40 gharial in the Ghagra river, which is a major tributary of the Ganges. The scientific name of gharial is Gavialus gangeticus and is commonly called fish-eating crocodile. Gharials are on the list of critically endangered species in the red list of IUCN. Which union ministry has successfully patented affordable personal protective equipment? The answer is Ministry of Defence. A patent was filed by the Ministry of Defence in collaboration with the National Research Development Corporation for low-cost personal protective equipment developed by the Indian Navy. This equipment is developed by the Navy and is made of a special fabric that provides higher quality and higher respiratory capacity than other PPEs available in the market. A pilot batch of PPE has already been produced at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. With this, we come to our next question. According to the United Nations World Economic Situation and Prospects Report, what is India's projected growth rate in financial year 2020-21? It is 1.2%. The United Nations recently released the World Economic Situation and Prospect Report. According to this report, the global gross domestic product is projected to decrease by 3.2% in the year 2020. The report also forecasts that India will grow at a rate of 1.2% in 2020 due to the impact of the national lockdown. UN had already projected a low growth rate of 4.1% in 2019 for India. It also envisages that India will gradually achieve a growth rate of 5.5% in the year 2021. So friends, with this we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for being with us. We have tried to include few more important questions this time, which would be really helpful for you from the point of view of upcoming competitive exams. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share our video. In order to keep getting the updates on other current affairs related topics, please press the bell icon. Thank you.